Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy to have you on the call. It's Michael Rutherford. I've got Beth Diaz. I got Vicki Cook. I got Nick Karshner on the call. Beth and Vicki hosted their first event last night in Pasco, Washington. It was, by every definition of the word, off the charts. Very good, very fun, and very fruitful. Everybody's excited. Everybody's interested. There were more guests than there were provers. The day started off getting picked up at the airport, and Vicki's paid for massively huge, massively excitingly beautiful, Prove It Blue, I don't even know what the heck it is, big old Dodge diesel truck that she picked out when she hit rank 6 for the company. So right away the trip was already awesome because, she's one of the first people to qualify to get her hit rank 6 and qualify for her car, which is an $800 payment. And to see her just pull up in it, she was so excited. Ran into Judy Willitson and Don Baker in the airport. They were all meeting. We all flew in to meet up, jumped in the car. We took off, went to a keto cocktail. Potluck is really what it was. So a little twist on a keto cocktail mixer. It was a potluck. Bunch of foods, keto-friendly foods, fat bombs. It was awesome. It was like 25 people there in the middle of the day. Left that, went, set up the room. They had banners. They had sign-in tables. They had keto cocktails being mixed up. They had audio, video, recording it live on Periscope. Like, it just ran really effectively. You would have not known this was the first event that they did. So I was just loving every piece of it. I just was acting dumb, like, hey, let's just see what happens. And it executed really awesomely. So for those of you that participated in that, you did great for real. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. So, Vicki, share with us just a little bit of your story, how it all got started, who invited you, what's happened, just maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes just generally on your Prove It experience, how Beth got introduced, and, just kind of how it all came together.
Sure. Hi, Michael. I was kind of watching Facebook stuff for a while and seeing a bunch of before and after photos of some friends of mine. And one day when Dawn had mentioned that she was going to give out like some free keto to the next 5 people that messaged her, I was one of those and messaged her. She sent it in the mail, and I basically let it sit there for a day, not knowing what ketosis was, kind of scared to take it. So I ended up calling the director of Trios, who is a good friend of mine, and she immediately said, it's impossible to get into ketosis in an hour. So she said, I will do the studies on it. I'll get right back to you. So she did, and she goes, okay, you need to join this company like yesterday. I'm going to join up right after you, and I've got a lot of people right in line that are going to want to be in this. And so kind of fast forward, I know I have at least 13 nurses on my team. Of course, the director of Trios, 2 registered dietitians, and Laura Ashley spoke last night, and she did an amazing job, and a chiropractor that Beth introduced, and he was there, Rob, last night. He did a great job. And then after I was introduced, when I was using it, I did my workout, and that's what opened my eyes, because when I drank that, I did my workout, and oh my gosh, it was just crazy. My whole day was amazing, and overall, how you felt and everything, I had never felt like that. I don't even know if I felt like that in my 20s. So anyway, phenomenal day. I introduced it down the line to Beth, and it just, some people feel it immediately. Some people, they might have GI issues for a couple of days. If they stick with it, it will change. Just don't give up on it. Boy, I'm so glad that I had a great experience to begin with, but I know some don't, but just hang with it. It will get better. But Beth had a great experience also, and her team is blowing up. So, okay, I tried to do it quick. I could talk forever. You know that.
I loved it. I loved it. You did awesome. I appreciate that. So Beth and I'm driving in the car with Beth, by the way, so I'm about to mute my phone as I unmute her phone. But Beth, kind of share with us your experience, how you got introduced, what Vicki said to you, what she sent you, why were you interested, what's transpired since then?
Okay, so, Vicki was a master on Facebook, and I just kept seeing these posts, and I did a little research, and I kept saying I wanted a sample, but I never followed through. And one day at the famous Yokes, where we do our little white powder exchanges, Vicki met me, and I mixed it up, went home, mixed it up, and within 30 minutes, I knew. I knew it was. I felt good. It was amazing. And I got on and ordered, and I came in with a full meal deal. And it just went from there. I mean, it just went from there, and it was like fireworks. So, fast forward 2 months, and Vicki has her car, and I have a team of 200, and we're working and rolling, and the medical community is embracing it, and chiropractor, and last night was evidence of what people are looking for. It's really, I think, an incredible product. So my chiropractor, I was in a car wreck. I have RA, and I was in a car wreck in August, and pretty immobile, seeing specialists, neurologists, chiropractor, and I started taking keto, and he started noticing a difference, and I kept telling him it's this drink, and he kept rolling his eyes. And about 2 weeks in, I mixed him up one, left, and he called me within 30 minutes, and that was it. And now he's using it in his practice.
So, guys, it's so funny. One of the things that when you come to a city, you don't know anybody. You know the host of the event, maybe a handful of the people that you started digging in with and working, and you really start taprooting and building from the bottom up. Like you'll hear Vic Carson talk about, you'll hear Natalie Kilborn talk about, like just digging in with people and who do you got. Hey, I just did GoPro. Great. Who are your promoters that you enrolled, and when can you get them on the phone with me? Hey, new promoter, glad you're on Best Teams. Stoked to have you. Why'd you sign up? Oh, because of this. Awesome. Have you showed this to anybody yet? Yes. Who? Blah, blah, blah. Can you get them on the phone? Great. So you just start digging in. So when you come to these events and your team starts growing, and you might be listening to this call and you enrolled yesterday, and you're like, I got a team. I don't know. Where'd you fly and why'd you fly there? It'll grow. Just stay on it. So Beth just said she got a team of 200 people. That becomes 2,000 pretty quick. If 2 or 3 people decide to really take a swing at this, that'll become 2,000 pretty fast. And it's evidence all over the place. One thing that's awesome is Vicki just said she had like 500 or 600 people in the conversation, like improvers, provers, and only some of them are here in this city. And last night was packed. It's just her team. And what's cool is there's all these other cities where she's got people, but you never know when you land in a city or drive into a city or even go to someone's house where there's 4 people and you're doing a little keto cocktail mixer. You never know who's going to show. You never know what their interest is going to be. But last night was really cool. She just referenced, her chiropractor, Rob. He's a lot more than a chiropractor, but he does a whole bunch of stuff with his family. Have multiple businesses here in town. He's been heavily involved in sports and chiropractic, as well as fitness. They've invested in and own several gyms in town, fitness clubs, and other things. So he's just really wired in. His family's been in the industry for a long time. So they were going to be panelists of ours. So, and then same thing with Laura. Laura Ashley is her name. She's a dietitian. She works at a local hospital, runs a division there as a diabetes educator. So if any of you are in T. Cauldron's group or have come to one of the events that's taking place in the Bay Area at the Lafayette Memorial Center, or if you've come to a San Diego event in Carlsbad with Dustin and myself and the crew, or in Sarasota, Florida, with Francisco and that squad, or in Houston, Texas with Jared Maidenberg, come to any one of these Keto Life workshops, or South Carolina last weekend with Buffy, Jared, Rob, and the whole crew there. These events are awesome because it's a great chance for a non-technical, non-medical person to hear real validation from people who have always said no to this. And they started off their talk by saying, I've never endorsed a supplement product in my career. Both of them did. I go, are you serious? And they're like incredibly anti-network marketing. I mean, incredibly anti-network marketing. And then, but here's what's cool. They're anti-network marketing because it's like the business aspect of it. They don't understand it, most people, but primarily the product part. As a medical person, their brain doesn't allow them to say yes to products that aren't good enough. And most products aren't good enough. Because you kidding, you look at these meal replacement shakes and they're full of carbs and sugar and sucralose and just stuff I wouldn't recommend to my, I wouldn't drink them myself. So why would I recommend them to my patients? And one of the things that was so cool here is he goes, man, as soon as I saw this product and I knew what you had, the doctor in him, the scientist in him, the chemist, the nerd, the researcher, and I say nerd as a compliment. That just means somebody that's going to go dig and learn, like they love learning. And that aspect of them, like that component to their brain, prevents them from saying no to this. So if you have somebody in that world, health, wellness, medical, doesn't matter, if they're at least relatively open to looking about the research or trying the product, they're in. They're in. And a good chunk of the room last night was people in their world. And I think it's so fun, Beth and Vicki, that you can attract these kinds of people because the story's that good. And I want to ask Mick Carson real fast, if you're on, brother. Share with me, as somebody that's been in this space a long time, you've done a lot of business and network marketing, actually in health and wellness. Have you ever been to an event where there was, like, and you've been to the one in Northern California, where the caliber of guests and speakers and the quality of the dialogue is as good as it is here?
You know what? No. I was just sitting here listening and thinking about last night. And, you know, that's why I hopped in my car and drove 5 hours over here and met people. But I wanted to get around the fire and get around the people. And I'm so happy I made the drive because I was already like to the moon excited about this, what we have our hands on with this Keto OS, ketone operating system. I mean, first in the history of mankind. Are you kidding me? And we have it and nobody else does. Prove it, figured it out. It's like, oh my gosh. But I get in here and I start listening to these people speaking, and I'm like, I'm just getting goosebumps from my head to my toes. I'm like, oh my gosh, we've got the cookie. We've got it, what every person needs, and it works on every person, and we can prove it. And I'm sitting here listening to this guy going, I've been approached by hundreds of network marketing companies with hundreds of supplements, and I've never, ever endorsed one of them, and he's going to endorse this because it works so well at changing people's lives that he feels obligated as a medical professional. He has to share this because it's going to improve the quality of his patients' lives and make them better in lots of different ways. And so my belief level went up about 2 to 3 more notches last night just by being a fly on the wall in the back of the room and listening to these people tell these stories and the testimonies. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, we have a winner here. And so that's why it's so important. And by the way, Beth and Vicki, my hat's off to you guys. I walked in that room last night and I looked around, and the banners and the audio visual and the table with the shots and the literature and the way that thing was set up and ran, it was like this was a 5-year-old company. You guys did a stellar job. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be happening all over the country. And so for those of you on this call that are going, man, I really want to carve out my piece of this market. I really, really want that so bad. Man, just be the one. Be the one to stand up in your town and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait for someone else to do it. I'm going to do it. And you get you a couple local running partners. You lock arms with them, just like these gals did here last night. And, I mean, they're tearing it up. There was a buzz in that room that I haven't felt in a long time by attending any type of network marketing event. And I'll tell you what, it felt good. It's addicting. I want more. And this day, 1 week from today, we're going to be in Las Vegas. And what was felt in that room last night will be magnified by like 100 times. And so if you want to come out and just grab this opportunity and run with this Keto OS, this scientific breakthrough, and tell the world, man, get to Vegas, get in that seat and soak it in, man, and you're going to leave that place on fire. Do you agree, Mike?
It's so funny. When you first started talking, I said, don't let me forget to say Vegas. And you went right into it. I'm like, what a stud. So you nailed it, because last night, and we said this, I go, look, the two panelists, the industry experts, Rob and Laura, they've known about this conversation a month or something like that, 6 weeks maybe. Brand new. And they're already that excited about it. They're already that knowledgeable about it. And then there was another woman who was in the room, and I can't remember where she said she worked, but she's in the healthcare industry, maybe was a nurse, and she goes, okay, so I'm hearing you, but I'm not really hearing you. She goes, are you telling me that I'm just drinking ketones, or are you telling me what you're giving me is causing my liver to produce them? She goes, I guess I'm just battling with the fact that it's real. Like, you can actually just drink ketones. And I go, you could just drink them. And she's like, well, and you can hear, she's having a wrestling match in her brain. And there's about 10 other medical people in the room doing the same thing. Because to them, for all of mankind, as silly and kind of goofy as that is to say, I love it. For all of human history, there's never been anything you could drink to give you a therapeutic dose of ketone until they walked into our event last night and drank them. And you can watch them go, there's no way. Well, maybe there is a way. There's no way. Maybe there is a way. And then she goes, well, how can you prove it? And I said, well, what are the ways you can measure ketones? And she was talking about urinalysis test, and we started talking about a blood test to like a little finger prick ketone meter. And she's like, you got to be kidding me. I go, oh, no. You go from 0.0 to 0, or 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0 from one serving, and you can measure it. She's like, you got to be kidding. I mean, she couldn't believe it. So Vegas is the actual people who built the product, like the formulators working in the lab, creating it. That's who's talking in Vegas. So the speakers last night were unbelievable, and we have people like that all over America. And there was 8 or 10 other ones in the room who will be speaking at the next Pasco, Washington event, probably in a month or two. So I would just encourage you, like Mick said, to come to Vegas, because last night was the tip of the spear. Last night was like the introductory scene to an unbelievable Oscar-winning 4-star movie. Last night was like the preview of it. It was like a 10-minute introduction. So, and we totally wung it and just kind of had fun and ripped it. So really quick, let's end with this. What's the result? Like, what were people saying when they left that? What were, as the event ended, everybody stood up. We took a couple-minute break. Then we trained on how to build this as an entrepreneur, as a prover. But, like, what were people saying to you as they were leaving? What have they texted you since it was last night? You know, who's joining, who's buying what, who's doing what? Just kind of share a little bit of that.
So first I have to say what blew me away is that this event started at 7, and I looked at my watch last night, and at 10:30 last night on a weeknight, there were still people in the room still talking. I think they would have stayed till midnight. But they were just fired up, whether they had never tried it, whether they had signed up to be a promoter and had never done anything with it. It was just, I was overwhelmed with the excitement and the caliber of guests that were there. And my phone started dinging this morning at like 5:30 with invites for us to come have breakfast, coffee. Could they come to my house? I mean, I think Michael and I could have had a party of 50 this morning. So it's just, you just got to mix it up for people. It's an amazing product. It's groundbreaking. And, it's a grassroots company, and we're just learning as we go. But you put the product, don't make it difficult. Have them drink it. Shut up and drink it and let them feel it, and you rock from there.
It's so funny you say that. Mitch Newman is always, and I don't even know who came up with it, just to shut up and drink. Mildly rude, but I love it. If it's your friend, definitely. I'm like, man, I don't know. I just shut up and drink it. So I almost kind of refer to myself as me shutting up and drinking it. Vicki, how about you? I know you had just a bunch of people there. Couldn't possibly follow up with everybody on the spot. I'm getting ready to meet Mick here in the lobby of the hotel for just a moment. Then we're going to go over and see chiropractor Rob, dig in with him a little bit today. Want to try to follow up with Laura today. And just really get after it with the people that were here. But it's the fortunes in the follow-up. Kind of share a little bit of the feedback from the people that you had last night.
Well, I've got a lot more that I haven't got to because I woke up this morning and I have got so many messages on my phone, so I haven't even read through all those yet, but I know there's a lot of people that wanted to come to the event that were unable to last night, so I'm going to try to get back to them. Hopefully we've got that saved on Periscope. But, yeah, I think these events really, it kind of makes it real. They're kind of seeing what's happening, the stuff I post on Facebook, but a lot of them are just watching but really haven't connected yet. But if anyone gets to an event like that, or even listens to these calls, then their eyes are you're gonna open up and seeing what we have here. And of course, if they just drink the drink, that's a huge thing. If they just give it a try is all they need to do. If they have any doubt. So, and I'm so happy you guys came here. You guys, that was amazing. I couldn't have had it gone any better. And I've got love Beth. I mean, I've just got a rock star there with her. And every day I wake up and kind of count my blessings with all of this, how it's just kind of happened, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So thank you very much, Michael. So much appreciate you, and Don and Judy flying in. And and I will see you in a little bit.
Absolutely, I can't wait. Well, I think, and I think one thing that's really awesome is people always talk about building from event to event to event to event. Well, last night was one event. This call right now is one event. We'll do a guest call tonight. It'll be event. So people that came last night as a guest are going to say, hey, how do I get more information? And you invite them to an event. An event might be the website to watch some of the videos. It might be the research tab, proveitnow.com/research. It might be a TED Talk of Dr. Dom talking about ketones and cancer. It might be, those would all be little, stepping stones and pieces to an event. And then Vegas is an event. And then guess what happens after Vegas? You come home and everybody hosts their own event. They do a keto cocktail mixer at their house. They do a keto coffee meetup at the coffee shop down the street. Those are just events. And then they'll have a whole bunch of other panelists who could be contributors to another event here at the Red Lion Hotel, and they could put 150, 200 in that event. So everything just builds from one event to an event. Like Vicki has come to an event with nobody on her team, like brand spanking new. The lady that invited Vicki came to her first event, brand spanking new. Now, when we come back to Vegas, Vicki might still be able to unmute. But like as a guest, how many people do you think you have coming to Vegas?
Oh, geez, I haven't even counted. I know there's going to be, I would say, 15, 20.
That's awesome.
Like that.
So here's what's cool. So when we do another event, it'll probably be in the spring. I'm just guessing. Probably be in the spring after Vegas. The goal is, can you flip the 20 and turn it into 100 for the spring event? Well, how do you do that? If Beth comes to this event and has 4 on her team at this event, can she come to the next event in the spring with 25? And can such and such come who maybe comes to this event in Vegas alone, can they come to the spring event with 37 or whatever? So that's just how it works. And you just build and build and build, and it grows pretty naturally, a pretty significant level of ambition and being proactive and driving it and leading it, but then having fun, being poised, and just enjoying the process and enjoying the journey is what will make it go. So I'm just happy to be a part of it, happy to be here. Can't wait to hang with everybody in Vegas. If you're on the call, nobody here was like made to do this event. They're just like itching to do an event. So they did local events, they did meetups, they did mixers, they did powwows, they did potlucks, all kinds of things, and now it's led to this. So have a blast, enjoy the process, host an event in the next couple days. Post the pictures online, put them up on Facebook. Even if it's 4 people at your local coffee shop, do it tomorrow, do it tonight. I know the San Diego group is doing events just all over the place. The Florida groups are. So host an event. Don't be concerned with the details. Just get some folks together and drink some of our product and just have a conversation and be okay with saying, I don't know. I'll get you some information. Most people's fear with an event is that they won't know the answers to all the questions. Most people don't even know the questions to ask, let alone the answers to give them. So just say, man, that's a great question. I'll get you that. I'm just getting started myself. And there's a lot of power in that. So whatever limiting belief we all might have about an event, just start doing them. Start small, and they'll grow. You'll be blown away. So have a blast. I appreciate everybody for listening. Definitely happy to have been a part of last night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.